Hey y'all, Kentucky Farmer here. We are back for the 8th episode in my Let's Play series on Goldcrest Valley with the new Farming Simulator 17. When we last left off, I had been doing a couple of missions trying to raise a little bit more money. I think I did that big field. Let's see here. Bring up my map. So I harvested field 5, and then I harvested a couple other fields in there too. We got a little more money. As you can see, we're up to 290,000. If we look at our finances, you can see that that was field job income over here. So I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed by this. It is noon, and we've made $240,000 doing hired help for the neighboring farmers. I apparently am in the wrong career if if you can make $240,000 in a half a day's work. So I think those jobs pay a little bit too much, but they're fun. It's part of the game. So might as well. We're still waiting for our 3 fields to grow. They haven't even gotten to the first growth state yet. So trying to figure out other stuff I can do while I'm waiting for them to grow. I think I'm going to do another mission. If I look here, if we look at growth state, field 11 is still is ready to be harvested. That's the, and 27 and 26 are ready to be harvested, but those are, looks like 26 is potatoes and 27 is sugar beets. So we might go over and check out 27. That is a giant field, so unless the farmer's going to provide us with the biggest beet harvester, that one could take a long time. And ditto for 26. Even with the, was it the Grimmy Maxtron, field 26 would take a incredibly long time to harvest. I'm not even sure it's worth taking that job on. But I will go do field 11. And the other thing we're looking at here is have enough money to get the next 2 solar panels. So we've got 2 already over here on the ridge line. There you can see one of them off in the distance. So those 2 offset basically half of our running costs. If I get 2 more, I should have all of our running costs offset. And then hopefully if I get this other job, maybe pick up a few more, I'll have enough money to buy. I was going to get the vehicle shop, and I need to get the fuel trailer, and I needed a trailer to transport the seed and fertilizer pallets. And actually, if I bring up the shop, I wanted to show you something. I did a little research because I talked about this in some previous episodes. I wasn't too sure what trailers to use, right? So over in the low loaders, these 2 won't work because these 2 don't have straps. So these are really only for hauling vehicles and not hauling pallets or bales or anything like that. So then if we look at the baling technology, the Flegel, this Brantner, and this flatbed for the IT runner, and this Marshall all support straps. So I was trying not to get this Flegel or this Brantner because they have what I call wagon wheels on the front, which means that the direction of the tongue causes them to steer, and those trailers are really hard to back up. The IT runner would be an option, but it's a lot of money once you buy this and then the base piece for it. So I was trying to avoid that. And then, as luck would have it, Giants posted this mod, which gives me a flatbed bale trailer that supports straps, and it's a low hitch, normal trailer setup, so I can actually back that trailer up really easily. So I'm definitely going to buy this one. In fact, we'll just go ahead and buy it now, and next time we're over by the farm, we'll pick it up and bring it home. Red is fine with me, so yeah, I'll go ahead and buy this. Okay, and then we do have, we've got a couple pallets over there, so I'm going to call that good. And I'll go ahead and I'll buy the fuel trailer too. That's pretty cheap. Okay. And yeah, I think that should be good for now. Well, I guess we could buy our two. I'm going to walk over to the ridge and we'll buy the 2 solar panels and we'll place them while we're at it. That way, as we're doing other stuff, we're getting that hourly income. After this next harvest job, I just may go cut down more trees. Take my front loader, cut down some trees, and transport them over to the sawmill. I think I'm going to try and put the next 2 right here in this section. Alright, I had to activate my help menu there. Forgot what button I needed to press. Alright, so now we got 4 solar collectors, which should basically offset all of our machinery running costs. And I think the way we're going here, the next the next machinery thing I'll probably look into doing will be upgrading our combine and our grain wagon, because I don't want to get a new grain wagon until I get a new combine, because I'll likely, I mean, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to get a pretty big one. So then I'll have the bigger pipe on it, and I don't have to worry about getting a trailer small enough to fit under this one. So that'll be next on my list, and that will help a little bit with our running costs, but not a whole lot, because this one's expensive because it's used. Then the one I'll get to replace it will be expensive because it's a bigger combine, so it'll kind of be a wash. I really don't feel a need to get another tractor because I'm not hiring workers. I basically just live in this tractor. So, in fact, I have not really needed to do any spraying because of the way that the fertilization works with the oilseed radish and the cedar putting down fertilization. So I may just drop these 2 tanks in here and sell this tractor. And if I needed to spray, I could put the sprayers on this tractor, but it's... I was expecting, when I heard you had to fertilize 3 times, I was expecting this to be more like soil mod, where, like, it's... you always have a sprayer out working in the fields if you have soil mod. So, alright, well, let's go over to that field and do that job real quick, that harvest job. I'm going to show you something here that I learned not too long ago from this map. So we want to go to field 11. We can just click this little blue icon here and go visit. And boom, teleported right to field 11. Makes me think I don't really need a pickup truck either. So, alright. We want to, yeah, 41 foot Verifeed on the CR1090. Harvesting. It's canola, looks like. $6,000. Yep, let's do this. Awesome, a little over $8,000. Brings us up to just shy of 29,000. So the next thing I wanted to check was what sort of equipment would they give us to harvest these beets down here on 27. So let's teleport over here. There we go. This could be an interesting mission. So they do have the Terados T440. But this is still saying that's going to take 104 minutes. So odds are wow, that would take probably at least an hour and a half. I mean, because it doesn't take as long as they allot, right? So I've noticed the bigger the harvesting job, if you're pretty good about it. Like when I did Field 5, I think I finished with, you know, almost 20 or 30 minutes left on the clock. So you get a pretty good time bonus. And it's not as bad as it makes it seem. The other thing I can check here, and this is something I don't know if I've pointed out before, but so notice that it's 33,432, 104 minutes, 28 seconds, and the equipment that we're using. Sometimes if you go out and then come back and reload it, they give you an option of a different piece of equipment. Now this one may not do it because it's probably unreasonable to try and do that field with the really small thing. Let me see if I can find another field. It's a good example of what I'm talking about. Let's go look at 25 here. So, alright, optimum CVX. Let's go back and then we'll come in. And now it's a S series. So, if you notice that it's not always the same piece of equipment. And here it doesn't really matter because it's still the same slurry spreader. So let's find maybe a field that needs to get planted. So 31's or 22 is cultivated. Let's go look at 22. Alright, so an optimum V, it's going to take 47.45. Or, here we go, this is perfect. A Maestro 12 SW, and it'll take 24.28. Right? So this is $7,833. Oh, here's the Pronto 9, 5,971 because it's only 18 minutes, right? So if you go out and go back into these missions, a lot of times it'll cycle through a bunch of options. So here we could plant potatoes, and it'll take us 44 minutes, but we can get $14,000 for planting the potato. So if you got a lot of time to kill, sometimes it's worth cycling through the missions that are available, because you might get a longer running mission that'll pay more money. And then likewise, if you are in a hurry, you might get a mission like this that'll actually go pretty quick. So I'm actually going to do this mission. $6,000. That's not a... It's a pretty good mission. Let's go ahead and do this one. Well, not much of a time bonus, but hey, that's not too bad. Alright, so now we're up to 35,000. Let's see here. We need to go pick up our fuel trailer and fill it up and take it back to the farm. Alright. So we've got... Alright. So I'm actually going to need to go back to the main farm and get my tractor. Yeah, we got the pallet forks, which is what we need to pick up the seed and fertilizer bins. Alright, I think I'm gonna start with the... well, I don't know. My pickup truck is parked like right over on the other side of this building, so I guess I could use the pickup truck to do the fuel trailer, although I've heard that the little pickup truck actually has a pretty hard time with this. So let's run over there and grab it, and we'll see if it can manage. I think it pulls it fine empty, but once you fill it up with fuel, it's a little much for this little truck to handle. We'll give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, I can always just leave this thing at the gas station and come rescue it with the tractor. But if this truck can't pull this, then I may wind up having to get the other truck eventually. I don't know, that makes it look a little squatty. Let's give it a try though. $4,124 worth of fuel. Ouch. This isn't too bad. I don't know if you noticed, it is it's Halloween while I'm filming this. This episode will go live on November 1st, but it's still Halloween right now. So we got a lot of zombies out walking around. Yeah, this isn't too bad. Probably shouldn't take this corner at 50 miles an hour. I'm not too sure where I should park this. I think I either need next to this workshop or right here next to these red barrels. I think if you actually had a trailer full of $4,000 worth of diesel, probably don't want to leave it parked right next to the highway, but it's good people around here. Even if they're zombies, it's worth a shot. Alright, I'm going to park this truck over here, and then I'm going to teleport back to my tractor. And we'll bring back that flatbed with the pallets. Oh, I forgot I had this over here. I should probably just sell all this stuff too. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm gonna take this over, sell this tractor and this wood chipper. This wood chipper is not super useful because of how restrictive it is on what size wood chips you can. Oops, probably should have folded that up. There we go. There we go. If I'm gonna do wood chips, I'm gonna get one of the bigger wood chippers to do it. This thing's tough too because, like, when you're using the wood chipper, you want to put and you're doing like large scale logging, right? You want to put the tops of the trees, like the real skinny part at the top, you can run that through here. But then a lot of times I have like little chunks of stumps and stuff that I want to run through a chipper, and technically those are too big to be run through this chipper. So then I would need a second wood chipper anyways for the little stumps. Although, I guess now that we can pick them up, I have seen a lot of people so far in other videos picking up the little bits of stump and chucking them in the back of a pickup truck and just taking them over and selling them that way. It's alright. Alright, and we are selling both the tractor and the chipper. Nice, 24,000, alright. And another 24,000. Cool. Well, that helps. And then I'm also gonna sell this guy. But I'm going to keep the spraying equipment. Man, this tractor's slow. Nice. 23,000. Alright, so we're actually up to 104,000. Let me look at something here. Our combine is worth 25,000 if we sell it. And so the only things that we've got left that are in the red for maintenance is the combine, the header, and the Metal Tech trailer. So if I sold this for 25,000, that'd give me, you know, almost 130,000. How close am I to being able to afford a better harvester? Ooh, I still got a little ways to go. I could basically buy, I could almost buy a new version of the one that I have. So, and if I'm gonna do it, I kind of want to go for one of these three. And I'm leaning towards the case axle flow. Although it's not a whole lot more, and the maintenance really isn't a whole lot worse to get the CR1090, and you get way more power, you get way faster speed, and you get more storage. So I don't know. I think if I'm gonna swap out harvesters, because right now I've got pretty little field, so I don't necessarily need a bigger harvester yet. But I would want to get a big harvester before I start buying big fields. So I think, yeah, I think if I'm going to change out harvesters, it's going to be for the CR1090. And then, so I need another $300,000, which at the rate I'm going, about another day's worth of missions and I'll have $300,000. So yeah, I don't know. Guess I'm gonna load up this trailer and then that'll probably be it for this episode. Alright, I'm going to pull this trailer forward a little bit to get it out of the way of those next three. Oh, that's weird. I just wanted to push it. I made it jump. I think I might buy one more of the dry fertilizer. Alright, well those are hanging off a little bit on the other side, but let's Let's hop out here and see how these straps work. Alright, so we want to put this one on. And that one. That one. Yeah, a little bit of a glitch there, but that's okay. That looks fine. Yeah, hopefully they actually stay on. That's perfect. Alright, now we gotta organize these a little bit inside here. So of course the ones on the trailer are relatively full, but if I remember right, these ones in here are almost empty. So I should probably, well, it's not quite empty, but I'll pull these out. In fact, I'm gonna drive over to the seeder and see if I can refill the seeder. I don't remember if it's full or not. Alright, there went that one. That didn't go very far. Alright, now the ones, all three bins that are still in here I think are all full. So, it doesn't really matter if I bury these in the back. I just didn't want to have partial ones in the back. I kind of wish I had a pallet rack that I could put these on. Alright, so yeah, that one's full. These ones have got to be full. It's nice how you can, it tells you once you get the forks in it. If you get the forks in it. There we go. Yeah, so that one's full. And that one's full. Alright. Now we gotta take the straps off. Alright. wonder if you can stack these. Somehow I think that's a bad idea, but technically that's why they have those little arms on either side, I think, is so you can stack them. Yeah, no, that's a bad idea. Alright. Whoa. There we go. This sure is a lot more time consuming than seeding and fertilize refill management in the previous version. Although there's already a mod out and I've already installed it. I'm just debating whether I want to use it or not. For placeable seed, solid fertilizer, and liquid fertilizer tanks. So, I don't know. I'll keep doing the big bags for a while. But if it gets too old, I may just go back to having big tanks. Now, I guess in theory, because I think you can still drive past these and refill. So in theory, I could have just left these all on the trailer and then just parked the trailer somewhere where the seeder can drive by it. Because really, now that I've put these in here, if I want to refill them, I'm going to have to use the front loader to pull these out of here, set them next to the seeder, and refill it that way. Alright, so now these two that are on here, I'm going to pull them off, and then I'm going to take them over to the seeder and top it off, and then whatever's left I'll put back in the barn. Oh, it took the whole thing. Wow. Okay. I wonder if it's going to need all this fertilizer, too. Oh, no. Alright. Alright, there we go. And I guess I gotta park the trailer somewhere. close to that wall. Oh, did it again. Oh, what am I getting stuck on? There we go. Alright. Alright, there we go. So did a couple more missions. We bought 2 more solar panels. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to end this yet. Let's do one more thing. Let's try out our fuel trailer. And let's refill the fuel on our tractor since we're actually down a little bit here. This is one of the things that they've changed quite a bit in here, especially in hard mode. Fuel consumption seems a little more realistic now. I remember in FS17, I think I very rarely had a tractor long enough that I had to refill it. I mean, they come full when you buy them, and then you could run that thing for days, and then I would go sell it and buy a different tractor, and I'd never have to put gas in anything because they they just never ran out of gas. So it's a little more realistic now. They actually do have to refill it every, once or twice a day, depending on how much you're using it. So alright, so let's see, what did we do today? We did a couple missions, checked out how to teleport using the map. We bought 2 solar panels, bought the fuel trailer and the fuel, bought the flatbed, and transported our fertilizer and seed over here, sold some equipment. And yeah, so now we got $100,000 in the bank. We still got, we're only halfway through the day so far. So we got a little bit of time left before night. Our fields haven't grown yet. Still waiting for them to get to the first growth stage. So I guess in the next episode we'll probably do more missions and maybe some logging while we're waiting for our fields. I suppose I'm getting to the point where I could maybe start buying. Maybe I'll specifically do missions for the guy who owns Field 19 until I get my status with him all the way up, and then I'll wind up buying Field 19 in the next episode. So hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, please consider giving the video a thumbs up. It helps a lot. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe for more Farming Simulator videos. I'm Kentucky Farmer. Thanks for watching.